everyone. Welcome to this week's episode of Ultramonth on Galactic Nerd Outpost. I'm your host, Joey McGee, also known as Gojin the Makai Phantom, and joining me again is Cody Bratch.
Hey, everybody.
Essentially, what we're going to do today on this episode is we're going to discuss some ideal Ultra concepts that should be used in a Ultra show, movie, video game, whatever, just our ideal thoughts. So that's what we're going to do today. But before I go, I'll let Cody go on one of his.
Okay, so basically, this idea I have is an idea that pretty much can never happen because, well, the time I would have wanted it to happen has long since passed. I would have liked, if it had been possible, to have a 1990s American film adaptation of Ultraman. The 90s were did you not hear anything I said?
No, I heard most of you, but I heard something about American film adaptation of Ultraman.
Yeah, 1990s American film adaptation of Ultraman.
Okay.
The 1990s was a time in filmmaking where practical effects were still being used, but in addition, they were either supplemented or complemented, depending on how you look at it, with evolving computer-generated effects. So I feel like the movie was given to the right people. In other words, keep Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin away from it. It would be it could be something very special. The best blend of practical effects and computer-generated effects.
It could, yes. So it would kind of be like it would kind of be like if Power had a movie, just a lot better. You there, Cody?
Or if you want to do a one comparison, as much as I don't care for it, the Dean Devlin Roland Emmerich 98 year.
Yeah. True. Anything?
Okay. As much as I don't care for the 98 Dean Devlin Roland Emmerich movie, it's still a good mix of practical effects and CG effects. If you go back and look at it, both the movie and a lot of the behind the scenes features that they did for it.
Yes. Though I do think the 98 film could have used more practical effects since I think it would have stood the test of time better. But yes, I can agree for the most part.
Yeah, I agree with you on that, Joey. And something else, something I think could have made it special, for the Ultraman suit, I honestly wouldn't change anything about it. I would make it a suit. I wouldn't change anything aesthetically. It would still pretty much look the same. The only thing I would change is, remember in that one live thread, the red on Ultraman was supposed to be his skin, and then the silver was supposed to be armor he was wearing?
Yes, I remember that.
Well, I would go one step further. I would have the red be an actual bodysuit that the actor was wearing, whether it be spandex, rubber, or some sort of material that's made to look more like alien skin. I'd have that be a bodysuit, and then I'd have the silver parts be separate pieces. He would be wearing silver gloves, silver boots, and like a torso piece and a helmet, and that would just making it actual separate from the body.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good idea, I think.
Thank you. Now,
Just
one other thing Go ahead.
Oh, I was about to say, JS Penna said in the chat, baby bird-ons. Oh yeah, that would be pretty cool. Like, just imagine something similar to Rodan, where you have an adult bird on that so happen to also give birth to baby ones. That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, that could be cool. Now,
Now, Cody?
I actually had a cast in mind for like the. I'm sorry, I was gonna say I had a cast in mind for the Science Patrol or whatever the American adaptation equivalent would be. Because this was the 90s, these were people who were all big in some way, and I picked actors who I thought could really fit the archetypes of the characters well.
I'm interested to hear.
I'll start from the bottom and work my way up. Or should I do the other way? Should I start from the top and work my way down?
Up to you. It's your choice, so go.
Fuck it. I'll start from the top and work my way down. First, we have the Shin Hayata archetype, the guy who's going to be the host for Ultraman. I have two very different picks, but ones I think could make for good picks. Either Will Smith or Johnny Depp.
Oh, that would be good, I think.
Absolutely, because Will. Go ahead.
It's funny you mentioned Johnny Depp, since this came right after that episode of review of Ultra Galaxy I did, where I kind of did that little edgy Johnny Depp joke there that some people will see the humor in, others probably will not. But that made me giggle a little since this came right after that.
I thought it was funny. It made me laugh. It's actually part of why I thought of him. The other part was the 90s was when Johnny Depp was not the star he ended up being, but when he was just coming out and budding as an actor, and people were starting to take notice of him, especially with movies like Edward Scissorhands. So he could be a good quirky version of the character, while Will Smith is very good at playing that relatable everyman that you could put in place of Hayata.
Makes sense.
Will Smith was also inspired by my choice for Will Smith was also inspired by the fact that Chow Productions, that one that tried to steal Ultraman from Subaraya.
Oh yeah,
they were trying to. Yes, they were trying to get a Ultraman American adaptation of their own with Will Smith as the lead, like between the years of 2010 and 2011, I think. Don't quote me on that.
Yeah, if they would do that with Will Smith, they should should cast Chris Rock as Bolton or some shit just so he could bitch slap him. That's what they should do.
Keep my planet's name out your fucking mouth.
Oh god, that would be great. That would be fucking great.
Yeah. Yeah. Obviously, they wouldn't have the same names as the characters from the OG Ultraman show, but would fit the characters' places. I don't know what names you would give them. Do we just call Will Smith Willie E or whatever?
Yeah.
But anyways, moving on, we have for the Captain Muramatsu archetype, I'd have Kurt Russell.
Oh, that's a perfect casting choice. Kurt Russell is really good at playing the badass, heroic characters.
Right? He even played one in that same decade in the movie Stargate, which unfortunately was also made by Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin. God damn. People who made such a crappy Godzilla movie, they sure got around in the 90s.
Oh, they did. They were huge. They were probably even bigger than Michael Bay at that time when it came to making the very crazy tongue-in-cheek blockbuster movies.
Right. But fundamentally, somehow, if I was able to go back in time and try to make this happen, I'd do everything I could to keep them away from this particular movie I'm pitching right now.
Yes.
But even if they wanted an Ultraman movie in the 90s, they couldn't do it because the international distribution rights and filmmaking rights were caught up in that bullshit with Chow again. It went on
Yes.
for decades. But
J.S.
we're
Penna
not talking about
said,
that.
wasn't... Hmm?
Go ahead.
J.S. Penna said, wasn't a huge fan of Stargate, but I heard the show was great. Oh yeah, I forgot they had a TV show. I don't think Dean Devlin and Emmerich had their hands on it, which, interesting enough, well, they were probably producers. It would kind of be like a live-action version of Godzilla the series in a way that it was a movie a lot of people didn't like, that had a TV show sequel that a lot of people did. So I guess it would kind of be like the 98 thing in that way, only one was live action, the other was animated.
Right. I've never seen either movie or show, but I want to see them all eventually because the concepts in it look cool to me. Even though, again, not the biggest fan of Roland Emmerich and Dean Devlin.
I'll check it out eventually. Like, I do enjoy them. Like, the 98 film has a lot of objective problems. Like, I have nothing against their... We're going to step off topic for a bit, but I have nothing against them going into Godzilla 98 with a what-if situation, because I think it works when you're like, what if Godzilla was just a mutant lizard instead of this force of nature? Kind of serves as a way that brought Godzilla back to his basics while throwing in a iguana in the mix, while going on differently. Like, I appreciate that what if situation, but I feel like there's a lot of objective problems with it. But outside of those, I still have fun with it. But if you want to see them at their best, at least from what I've seen, I think Independence Day is the way to go.
I would agree with that. So, let's see. Next, the Arashi type. This role could honestly be filled with by anyone who's like a good-looking secondary white boy who looks good holding a gun, whatever. I don't know exactly who would get it. Maybe if Will Smith did end up playing Ultraman, they'd get Johnny Depp to play the Arashi type or whatever. Or you could probably just get rid of it altogether.
Yeah, I could see that.
Now, we have Mitsuhiro. Yeah, Mitsuhiro type. The guy who's a brilliant inventor, but also at the same time goofy as fuck. I got someone who I think could fill that role well. John Leguizamo.
Okay. Name sounds slightly familiar, but I can't remember where I heard it.
Oh, he's been in all sorts of things. He was like the voice of Sid the Sloth in the Ice Age movies. He was Luigi in the Super Mario. He was Luigi in the Super Mario Brothers movies, and I think he also played the Violator in the live-action Spawn movie. Did a few other things.
Yep. Oh, that Spawn movie.
The dude gets around. I was just saying that the dude gets around. Sorry for interrupting you.
No, you didn't interrupt me at all. He also said, J.S. Penna said he's been in John Wick. Oh, yeah, I love John Wick.
Right on. I still haven't seen those movies, but I plan to eventually. Eventually!
You'll definitely dig them. I think they're some of the best revenge action movies you'll ever come across.
Nice. Now, for the Akiko Fuji character, I honestly wanted to find a well-known Japanese actress of the time, well-known in America at least, to play the role, so we could keep Akiko Fuji, keep the name, everything. But I honestly couldn't think of one, so I went with someone else who was sort of a big name at that time. Her name is Tia Carrera.
Huh. Like, name sounds familiar, but again, can't remember who. Let me look her up. But continue to go on.
She was Cassandra in Wayne's World. She was in that one.
Yes! Who else was she?
You know her.
Yeah.
She was also traitor spy in the Arnold Schwarzenegger, Jamie Lee Curtis movie True Lies. She's been
Yes,
a
yes,
few things.
yes. Yeah, I'd say she would be perfect.
Oh yes, she's perfect, all right.
Same.
And then finally, for the Dr. Iwamoto type, I'd cast Brent Spiner, aka Data from Star Trek The Next Generation.
Yeah.
I think he makes a good, smart, quirky scientist type. But as for who would play the boy, no boy. Fuck that character. Fuck that kid. Get him out of here. Don't need
Yes.
him for this shit.
Agreed. Agreed. 100%.
Now, because I've gone too long on this, and sorry about that,
No, it's all good.
I would just do a basic. I'm going to do a basic layout of what the plot would be or how it would be put out. I'd have it be an hour and 45 minutes, the run length of the movie. The first 15 would be dedicated to introducing these characters, this team, the Science Patrol, or whatever they end up calling them for the American adaptation. And then after those 15 minutes, I'd have like them go to Japan. They'd be based in America, but they'd be an international team. They'd go to Japan to settle a problem there, and it would turn out the problem is the sudden appearance of Bemular, just like in the show, and then it would run in a condensed version of what happened in the pilot episode of Ultraman, where uh, Will Smith slash Johnny Depp's character gets killed by accident by Ultraman, and he combines with them to make Will Smith slash Johnny Depp his host, and he protects Bemular, who's going on a rampage, attacking the area. And then the rest of the movie, monsters start showing up randomly across the world, including what monsters did I say was gonna there would be? I don't know who all of them would be, but the ones that I come up with off the top of my head would be Gizora, Naranga,
Oh,
Red King, and I know he wasn't technically an Ultraman, but I'd still have him here as an undersea eel, Ella King, as in I'd actually make him an eel and not as anthropomorphized as he was in Ultra 7. And
yeah.
then at some point, I'd have one of these monsters attack a, a temple, an ancient ruin of some sort in a desert somewhere. And in that desert would be a statue that looks a lot like Ultraman, implying that the Ultras had been to Earth previously, as had happened in one of the episodes of the original Ultraman. And then I'd have the last monster that Ultraman fights be Gamora. And during that fight, either Ultraman or one of the members of the Science Patrol, I don't know who, spots a UFO, implying that it was aliens sending these kaiju to attack the Earth. And then after Gamora is beaten, said alien craft is attacked and destroyed, but the one piloting it survives, and it's revealed to be Zeton. And then there's a
Okay,
final battle between Ultraman and... Go ahead.
that would be pretty fucking awesome, especially since Zeton is one of the biggest threats Ultraman has ever had, if not the biggest. So, yeah, that would be nice. I'm
Yeah,
actually kind of hoping he's in Shin Ultraman. Please don't spoil it, anyone, if anybody knows or not. But that would be. I do hope there's a Shin Zeton there.
that would be cool. It would also make sense because in the original Ultraman, Zeton was the final opponent for Ultraman and actually killed him temporarily.
Exactly.
Remember,
Exactly.
remember, people, in fiction, death is but a power nap.
Yep.
So that would. Oh, and I would also end it with the Science Patrol actually discovering that Will Smith slash Johnny Depp was Ultraman.
Yes, that would be pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. So now I've rambled on about it enough. You go on ahead next, Joey.
Okay, I kind of have two ideas, but my first one is going to be a series following Ultraman Belial, or Belial, however the hell you want to pronounce it, which, reason why I see there's a lot of potential here, outside of him being my favorite Ultraman, is he's got a lot in his lore, especially revolving kind of based around the Christianity mythos. Hell, he's based off another culture's name for Satan, so... And when you look at Belial in all his appearances, is treated like a fallen angel. That's why he was originally on the side of light, till Ray Blood ended up giving him power of darkness and turned him into an evil Ultraman that seeked power. So what I would like to see is a series that followed him. There'd be two halves to this show. Like, the show as a whole would be as long as an old show of Ultraman, being like 60 some episodes. So on the first half, we have Belial, where he's on the side of light, doing good, make it where he even fuses with somebody, like all the other Ultramen do, to kind of protect mankind and stuff like that. But eventually lead to the part where he ends up getting that power from Ray Blood and reaches that ability from Ultraman Belial. And once he does that, like, another thing, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So another thing I would like to see is kind of go on about that whole Christian mythos thing a bit more. Just also going a little more, since he's the father of Jeed, make it where he also had like a wife or something, like a female Ultraman. Since I always wanted to kind of see a show that would follow an Ultra woman. It's not a feminist thing. If anybody knows me, I'm not a fucking feminist. Not that there's anything wrong with. Oh, I'm not gonna go on about that, but it's just, thing is, I would like to see it. So I think in a
Don't trap
concept where,
yourself.
yeah, but I think why it would work is to kind of go on about the history of Belial and before Jeed was spawned, and with the whole thing with have it where she was kind of like his wife or something, and make it where once Belial reaches that darkness, have it where she's kind of sent to go after him once he reaches the side of darkness around the second half. I would kind of like that, like around the second half where you kind of switch between both characters, have where they're both the leads, and eventually it wouldn't be episodic either. It would kind of have a very dark and mature nature, similar to Nexus, and every episode would kind of lead off to the next. Like, it would slowly go on Belial's journey of him wanting more power before he got locked in by Ultra Father. Wait, no, it was Ultraman King, I think, that locked him down. It's been a while since I watched that movie, but once he would do that, but first it'll take a bit of retconning. Like, before he would get that ability and start fucking things up, he would end up going into going into one of the dimensions where he essentially kind of trying to cause hell, and then eventually, once Jeed is created, the show would kind of end where it leads off to Jeed's creation from both of those two. But eventually, before it would lead to that, you would have a female Ultraman that would kind of be after Belial to kind of take him back to King so he would get locked into that prison that he was in the Ultra Galaxy movie. Again, it would take some retcon, since in that movie, it is kind of explained that once he got that power, he went and started fucking shit up. I would make it where that would mainly be left intact, but make it before he started fucking shit up in that realm. Have it where he decided to go on a rampage elsewhere first, and someone else was sent after him. But that would be my concept. And of course, add some very dark religious lore. Maybe even tie it into Nexus a bit more. Like, make it where Nexus is in there too, where he's also kind of after Belial. Like, maybe where he kind of gives her that power to kind of stop him at the final battle. Like, I'm sure you've seen the Ultraman Zero movie, which is a sequel to Mega Monster Battle Ultra Galaxy, where Ultraman Noah gave Zero the power to stop Belial. That's kind of what I would seek here, especially since that one had a very much focus on dark religious symbolism. So that's kind of what I would like to see. What do you think?
I'd be all for it. I can't think of anything I would add specifically, but I gotta tell you, as someone who digs the concept of Belial, the look of Belial, the execution of the character, he's super cool, very engaging character to follow. I'd be all about seeing a short mini series exploring his secret origins because, well, I'm a guy who likes super secret origins, especially for villains more so these days because we get enough superhero origin movies and stuff like that. Let's get one for a villain. And my opinion, Belial's a perfect example of a villain whose backstory should be explored.
Exactly. Like they have explored it a bit in other shows, but I would like to see a full series that follows that. Like go on about him being on the side of light, but slowly reach that level of him wanting power. Like maybe him having jealousy of Noah and father and king, where he just gets that strength. It would kind of explore his biblical origins a bit more in that level. So I think that would be pretty cool. Not to mention, it would also kind of have a little bit of. It would just overall be a very nice concept, I think.
Absolutely.
But anyway, before I go on to my next pick, you got any other?
Only one. Unfortunately, I wasn't very creative with this, but what it is basically a sequel to the movie I had laid out previously. Because I laid out the basics of what I'd built these two movies on before, this should be a lot shorter. Basic idea: aliens from another planet come down and ask for Ultraman's help. The Ultraman being Will Smith or Johnny Depp, and then extends the invitation to the distress call to the Science Patrol as a whole, and it would be about the Science Patrol actually going out into space to this planet and helping them because they're under attack by an invasion of even more Ultra Kaiju, and they'd be controlled by one of the other Ultra series alien types. I don't know who it would be. I don't know if it would be more Zetons or maybe the Belial instead or someone else. I just want to see a 90s Ultraman movie, American Ultraman movie, where they go into space, go to another world, and all this crazy stuff can happen. With these versions of these characters, I think it would be a lot of fun.
I think so too. I do too. But that it.
Yeah, that's it.
My next concept again isn't anything too deep. Mine would kind of be like a Shin Ultra 7. Make it since you got Shin Ultraman, do like a sequel to Shin Ultraman where it follows 7. I think that would be pretty nice where you have a lot of that Twilight Zone mixed with Star Trek and Doctor Who like thing going on, just with Anno's cinematography, tone, amongst all of that. And you would also have certain plot points like King Joe and all of that. I think that would be a pretty cool concept to put to screen, especially since Ultra 7 was already very serious. So, and I heard Anno with Shin Ultraman decided to kind of mix seriousness with the goofiness of the original show. So I would imagine that his Shin Ultra 7 would kind of be like Shin Godzilla with its level of seriousness. Just you would also have a lot more science fiction crazy shit going on. You would have a lot of the foes, and also I think it would be nice to have it longer than Shin Ultraman, like probably like 2 hours or something. But granted, this idea probably could have worked. This idea might actually be touched upon later on. I don't know, but I think it would be cool to see.
I'd be interested. Hell, I'd be interested to see the first Shin Ultraman, which I haven't yet, unfortunately. However, this is something I wanted to talk to you about, Joey, since we have the time. Did you know, and have you seen it yet? The first 10 minutes of Shin Ultraman are on YouTube now for viewing for the wide viewing public.
Yeah, I saw that. I didn't click on it because though I have clicked some stuff, and I really did get the urge to click those parts of Shin Ultraman, but at the same time, I don't want to spoil too much because I am very excited for the movie, and as tempting as it is to click, I want to be able to experience a lot of the movie for the first time when I see it entirely. I have watched clips like the first few minutes paying tribute to Ultra Q. That was pretty awesome, and it's a good sign for how good the movie would be and the heart that's put into it. But at the same time, again, I don't want to spoil too much, and 10 minutes of it is kind of a big portion when you're looking at a movie. So that's just me. How about you? What, have you seen the first 10 minutes?
Yeah, I watched it. I had originally read the plot synopsis on Wikipedia because I wanted to confirm whether or not whatever that one person in Discord told you was true, like about whether it was connected or not to Shin Godzilla. So I'm just like, I got to know. So I read that, and then when I saw that the first 10 minutes were available, I watched it as soon as I could because I wanted to see what I read on Wikipedia translates into visually, or at least in Anno's style.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I can understand that. Though I do think, like, again, there's no confirmation. Like, rather that after credit that person on Discord told me about is true or not, I don't know. It might not. Though I do see a lot of people saying that there is mention in the movie of them sending I'm not gonna spoil it in case it's true, but I do hear there's mention from a lot of people where I'm almost certain there's some form of connection to Shin Godzilla and Shin Kamen Rider, but I don't know if it's to the level of that person on Discord saying it. I hope it is, but at the same time I don't know. But that would be pretty awesome, in my personal opinion.
I guess unless you go hunting for spoilers like I did, it'll remain a mystery. Ooh.
Yeah, but yeah. But is there anything else that you'd like to say in this episode, Cody?
I am a budding Ultraman fan. Well, Ultra Series in general, even though it gets put under the umbrella term of Ultraman or Ultra Series synonymously. But exploring the different facets of this series, be it movies, shows, whatever, has been absolutely fascinating and captured my imagination. Clearly, since I came up with all that before and everything else I've talked about revolving Ultraman stories, the basic concept of Ultraman is cool. I know it can be scary for people trying to go into it, like trying to figure out where to start. But me and Joey already got a list for you on another live stream we did of good places to start. So I highly recommend go seeing those if you're at all interested. And if they capture your attention and imagination as they captured mine, keep your journey going because, yeah, the Ultra Series as a concept and so far mostly in execution is absolutely awesome and wonderful. I highly recommend it.
I agree. Like, go check out that podcast if you're wanting to get into the Ultra Series but haven't found that place yet, because me, Cody, and if I remember correctly, Nick wasn't. Was anybody else in that podcast outside of me and you?
It was just you and me, brother.
Okay, yeah. Go and check out that podcast. I think it'll give you an idea of stuff to check out if you're looking to get into it. But unless me or Cody has anything else to add, I don't think I have anything else to add. I know my concept was a bit short, but I'm not a writer like Cody is, so I wasn't able to go on to this very huge thing of my ideas other than like a bit of summaries, particularly the Dark series following Belial's lead to darkness on first half and on a second half following him when he is in darkness. Because again, to expand a bit more on that, it would be unique to follow an Ultraman that was evil later on, but in a way where it would switch between characters, because shows do switch between characters a bit. Like in Garo Makai Senki, you switch between Rei and Koga per episodes. Like, for example, on my idea towards Belial, have it where it would switch between three characters, like switch between Belial, his wife that would later bring the existence of Jeed, and then have episodes where it would follow the one who's kind of playing Noah. but eventually have it where they're kind of like bounty hunters seeking to get out Belial. That idea was kind of spawned to me when I was watching this movie by Keita Amamea lately called Zedam, where you have these galactic bounty hunters hunting this alien. Just you would have Ultramen bounty hunters. Just the thing is, they won't necessarily be bounty hunters. It would just be more of they're after Belial to take him in to that Ultra prison he was in the Ultra Galaxy movie. Again, it would be a retcon, but it would be pretty. It wouldn't strive too far where it would be unacceptable, in my opinion.
That's a lot of stuff you said, but it all sounds cool to me.
Thank you. But before we end it, got anything else to say?
I guess for the second Ultraman movie I mentioned, maybe have the alien that came down be a hot, cute alien type of chick, and have her maybe hitting on Will Smith / Johnny Depp a little bit. And then maybe have Tia Carrera's character maybe get a little jealous or protective, defensive of him. Maybe have a comedic love triangle that's not necessarily the main focus of the movie, but just one of the side plots, and play it up more for comedy than drama. That's about all I can think of.
Understandable. But that said, finish.
I am finished. Sorry for interrupting you. Go ahead.
No, don't. I thought you weren't finished. But okay. That's it. That's it for this episode. Please comment your thoughts down below, and if you enjoyed it, please smash that like button, share it around, and subscribe. Make sure to hit that bell for notifications to keep up to date on all my future content. Also, check out my social media accounts and alt tech. Links are on the description down below, alongside Anime Anteiku if you're into anime and other nerdy shit. They have been very helpful to the growth of this channel, and I am very thankful for them. This is Gojin the Makai Phantom, leaving the building.
Stay awesome, people.